And similarly, dimensions are qualitative aspects of data, which basically shows that gives you a qualitative things like you're so being an employee of a company. You have your employee ID, you have your age. You have your height, you have your weight. You have your dash, what else? Employee ID. Employee name if you are a non-vegetarian or a vegetarian, your religious aspects, your religious beliefs. So these are the things which are qualitative aspects of data, which defines you in terms of marketing. In terms of marketing data, we can talk of campaigns, we can talk of campaign IDs, we can talk of placements, placement IDs, brand names, country code, so on and so forth. Right, when you have the left-hand part of the data, basically how it comes. Now left hand can be the measurements as well. But generally what we look at, how we look at a report if you have pulled a report, if you have not pulled a report as well. It generally starts with date, right? So date is one of the dimensions that define that. On what date was this row processed? Then comes your campaign. Then comes your campaign ID, then comes your placement. Placement ID, ad groups, keywords, all these are qualitative ones, right? These cannot be added, subtracted. Another level of confusion happens when you try to, think like okay, then I have employee ID, but then employee ID is a number. Definitely, yes, but employee ID is not summable, right? So, being a number as well, it can be a dimension, right? So your age is, say, suppose you are 25-year-old. That's not a summable, like with another age. I don't want to sum it because I can. Your employee ID is 3210 and mine is 7777. I can add these two together, but does it make sense to add two employee IDs? Do you get anything out of it? No, but do you get to know that 7777 is an ID of the node? You do get it right that. Oh okay, this is unique to him. It defines a qualitative in a qualitative manner. How is a part of this organization? So it's a dimension. It can be a number, but it is a dimension. However, things like impressions, clicks, spend, income. All these things are your share portfolio, your stocks portfolio, your mutual fund investments. All these, basically, can be summable. It tells a story, your equity investment plus your mutual fund investment plus your, say, pension scheme investment, plus your options and futures investment, all these summable to get. If I sum them together, I can say that say whoever. It is Harsha, so I can say that this is Harsha's portfolio. Harsha's portfolio consists of all these 5 things and Harsha is A. He is earning this much or his portfolio value is this much. But if I add Harsha's employee ID with my employee ID with Rekha's employee ID with everyone's employee ID doesn't make sense, though it is a number, so you need to understand what are dimensions. It is qualitative. And measurements are quantitative. Nice coming to analyze and act. Analyze and act is nothing but the second tab in Datorama, which basically is an action center before we go ahead and visualize our stuffs. So it basically has goals, it has scorecards, it has reports, pivot tables, etc. Now, today is the first day of the training. Till the time you work with Datorama. Keep this thing in mind, that anything that goes out of Datorama goes in the form of a report. Okay, so anything that goes out of Datorama goes in the form of a report where you can go and add everything for yourself. And when I say anything that goes out of Datorama doesn't mean that you go and map your data stream and download it and see no, but any harmonized thing, anything like for 5 data streams. What was the performance of search data source in the month of May? If that is the condition, then you need to bring that data out right. So that is how you do. That is how you do through a report in Datorama. So what is a report and how does it work? It's basically when you go to report. There is a column called name. You have the export format in Excel, CSV, TSV, XTP and GPDF. However you want, you can export the report. There is a time period. You can choose the time period for yourself, like last 30 days, last, whatever 10 days, this week, this year, this month, whatever it is. What are the measurements that I want to take out, like impressions, etc. Dimensions can be delivery, dimensions can be campaigns, etc. A campaign name or a campaign category, whatever you choose for yourself, and then you know now if you need this report. We need to export reports for some operations in Datorama, say, suppose to see how the data is or how to what are, if the quality is correct. If I do need to do a random sampling of data or then. Or there are operations like reimmersions, which is another important topic, will be covered towards the last of the session, doing when we don't need to do reimmersions and things like that we need. What we need to do is we need to bring the data out in the form of a report and feed it back, but then that is if that is a regular activity. We need to have a scheduler in mind. So we have the frequencies. We have frequencies of daily, weekly, hourly, monthly. We can also set the delivery hour. We can also set the delivery hour in here. We can have a delivery method, email, FTP, SFTP, etc. And when you do that, you will see that you're under the tab of Report Scheduler. You will have a column which tells that the delivery method is email and the delivery detail of who will get the report daily is enabled, and this person gets a notification and receives the report every, whatever cadence has been set right. Coming to the Goals widget, we can set goals for ourselves. We can have, like single goal for all entities, goal ranges. We can set goals for the measurements. So if you see a goal has been set, if you see the measurement is clicks, measurement type is summable, goal type is, at least we have. We have 2 more options. When we are there, we will see it, At least means at least whatever is defined, like whatever I want to see when it reaches, say suppose I tell that at least 100 clicks notify me. So, whenever it reaches 100, it will notify me that, yes, you have reached your goal. And now, if it goes beyond as well, like at least in between. So if I tell that the other option is in between, we'll see, like when we are in the tool in between 100 to 200. When it is there, it will notify me, or at least will notify me, things like that. I can set a time period for my goal, that between 1 to July 20th. I want to see the goal reach. If it reaches, notify me. If it doesn't, don't notify. Period granularity, entire period dimensions and measurements. If you want to Like dimensions. If you want to define any, you can goal granularity, so on and so forth. We will take all these things, so don't worry. So this is basically how you set your goal. It's basically 0 to 38, then red, 38 to 99. It should be yellow, 99, and above it should be green. And you see that widget to your right, which is like you are at 107%, so it's marked as green. There is Action Center. Action Center basically helps you get all these notifications. Now you have set your goal correct. Now you want to have your notifications. Notifications can come through. That's basically the most you know. Most goals are set when there are small goals. When there are 1 or 2 goals basically comes to email, but then you know you want to keep the entire team of your optimization or analytics team geared up, that you know if this goal is met, then we are going to do something, but that you need your entire team to be doing it. And now, if the goal is met at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, I need to send it back when I'm back in office tomorrow, but that you have, like in a third-party connectors like Twilio, Slack, Webhook, which basically notifies your entire group of colleagues immediately once you have reached your goal, and it notifies you using the third-party tools.